Hello, everybody. I know it has been so long, seems like so long since I have done a live video. I don't know, maybe it's only been like a week, but still, it's a long time. Okay, so here I am. It's kind of the middle of the day, so I'm not sure how many people are going to pop on because this is not a normal time for me, but it is my new norm, so hey. Say hello when you get here. I am really excited to talk about this. So I drove by myself an 11-hour car ride from Michigan to Minnesota, and I had a lot of time to be in the car, and I spent a lot of that time listening to podcasts and some personal development and just kind of thinking about life in general. And I wanted to bring some of the things that I have heard, some of the revelations, if you will, that I have had. Hi, Lucy. And I just wanted to bring some of that to you guys because I think that it's applicable to every single person, and I think that we need to be aware of it. Sorry that my voice is super hoarse. I caught the flu while I was visiting family, and I am still very much recovering. So also have a cough drop in my mouth, so sorry if that is annoying to you. But otherwise, I would not be able to talk. So sickness aside, we are here. Okay. So what I want to talk about, and also, side note, we still have our freaking Christmas tree up because we just have not been home and I have Christmas nails. I need to get it together, but that's all right. Okay, so let's just jump right on into this and talk about the power of negativity. So I know a lot of you probably have heard the term power of positivity, right? But I want to talk about kind of the other side of that. And this was something that I heard on a Jessie Lee podcast. And so I'm going to kind of tell her little story that she told, and then I'm going to expand upon that with my insights. So I want you to just picture something with me. So we're going to use our imaginations here. So if you need to close your eyes to envision this, you can. But just think about a bowl of fruit, okay? You have a fruit salad, let's say, and it's full of all of your favorite fruit, and it's delicious. They're perfectly ripe. It's like perfect season for it. Everything is just amazing. It's juicy, it's colorful, and your mouth is just watering thinking about this bowl of fruit that you are about to eat, right? It is absolutely perfect. And let's say even you're hungry, right? Maybe you haven't eaten all day long and you're hungry and you have this perfect bowl of fruit or whatever your favorite food is, but I'm going to go with fruit. You have this perfect bowl of fruit sitting there in front of you and you cannot wait to dive into it, right? Your mouth is like watering. And then all of a sudden you see a cockroach crawling around in your perfect bowl of fruit. What do? Do you eat that fruit? Do you kind of pick around it? Because I don't know about you, that whole bowl of fruit is going in the garbage, right? This cockroach has been crawling around on my fruit, probably pooping on my fruit, peeing on my fruit, getting his dirty little fingers all over my fruit. Like, cockroaches are gross, right? And this cockroach is in my bowl of fruit. And I don't know if he's touched every piece, but I know for sure I'm not eating any of that fruit, right? That whole delicious bowl of fruit is going straight in the trash, and I'm getting a new bowl of fruit because there is no way that I am eating a bowl of fruit that this cockroach was just crawling around in. Hi, Parish. So I want you to think about that for a second, and I want you to flip that into your life and into your relationships. Let's say you have a friend or family member or whoever, and you really value them, right? If this is somebody that, yeah, exactly, Mary, like new bowl of fruit. So you really value this friendship that maybe it's even somebody new and you're really excited about it. They seem super awesome. And then you hear that they were talking mad crap about you behind your back. They said something bad about you, or maybe they made like a Facebook or an Instagram post about you. And how does that make you feel? All of a sudden that person is not nearly as valuable to you. Maybe you're not even friends with them. How many times does that person have to apologize, have to try and regain your trust after they go behind your back or they do something or they say something, right? It doesn't matter how many compliments they had maybe given you just the day before. As soon as you hear that they said something negative about you, that immediately changes your relationship with that person. Could even be a coworker. Immediately it changes. Now let's go back to that bowl of fruit just for a little bit of comparison, because I asked you how many compliments, how many nice things, how much does that person have to do to try and make this up to you? Let's go back to that bowl of fruit, okay? If you had 50 pieces of fruit and a cockroach was crawling around in them, would you eat it? Probably not. 200 pieces of fruit and a cockroach was crawling around in it, would you still eat it? Probably not. 2,000 pieces? Maybe. Maybe if he's on this side and I'm eating off this side and I don't think he's gotten to that side, maybe. But that's a lot of good pieces of fruit to make up for one cockroach. One cockroach does not equal one piece of fruit, right? Like, that's not equal. So there is so much talk about the power of positivity, and yes, that's true, but we also need to think about the power of negativity. The power that one negative comment, one stride remark, one nasty Facebook post, one nasty Instagram story, how that can change your entire relationship with the people around you, the person you're talking about, the person you're saying those things to. We need to really, really think about the things that we say and do before we go into cockroach mode, right? You don't want to be that cockroach. You don't want to ruin this beautiful bowl of fruit that you have cultivated. Yeah. Some people you never forgive, right? Just like some bowls of fruit, if there's a cockroach in it, I don't care if the size of fruit was, as big as my house. Maybe I still wouldn't eat it. Especially if he was like really nasty looking, right? There is so much that happens when we put out negativity, and it can completely ruin a relationship, a friendship, a business partnership. But also sometimes we have those cockroaches in our life, right? And I want to kind of segue from this story into that, because I want to talk about how do you deal with those negative people, because sometimes it's really easy to cut them off. Sometimes it's really easy to just throw that bowl of fruit away, right? But what if this cockroach in your life isn't you? What if this cockroach in your life is your mom, your brother, your boss, somebody that you have to work with at your job every single day? If you are in network marketing, maybe it's somebody who's in your upline or your downline or something like that, somebody that you have to have interactions with. Maybe you can't just throw this bowl of fruit away because it's the only bowl of fruit you have. Okay, let's say it is somebody in your family. So maybe this is the only food you have. So what do? How do you deal with those negative people in your life, and how do you keep that from bringing you down? Because we've all been exposed to it. You're exposed to that cockroach or that negative person, and it affects you. It brings down your mental energy. It upsets you. It changes the way that your day goes. It changes the way that you do things for the rest of your life sometimes, even when you have this negativity surrounding you and impacting you. So how do we deal with that? How do we get past that? And by the way, if you're getting value from this, please share it, because I think that this is a really strong message, and I know that there's a lot of people who need to hear this. Okay, so how do we deal with those cockroaches? How do we deal with those negative people in our life? Some of them, we can just cut out. And sometimes you have to do that, right? But sometimes we can't just cut them out. Sometimes there's somebody that we have to interact with. So what do? One thing that we can do is we limit the time that we allow ourselves to be exposed to that person. So put time constraints on it. And I'm telling you right now, if you tell a person you're putting boundaries on them, and they're a toxic person, they are going to fight that tooth and nail, right? Like, toxic people don't like boundaries. They don't get boundaries, and they will push because boundaries don't work for toxic people. So you have to set the boundary yourself. So if you have a phone call, maybe you have to call this person today. Call them 15 minutes before there's something scheduled that you have to do. Okay? Say, hey, I'm calling to check in, or I'm calling to talk about whatever this is, but I got 15 minutes and then I got to go. Hard stop. Because you can't let yourself be exposed to this for endless amounts of hours and think that you're going to be able to walk away and be productive with your life and with your day when you have this toxicity coming at you. Also, try and keep these conversations light. Keep them limited. Try not to talk about these deep, deep things. Try not to give them fuel to the fire. And I know that can be really hard. But I don't know, talk about the weather. Talk about, I don't know, the Christmas tree that's still sitting in your house. Talk about something light. Keep these conversations light and try not to give them fuel, right? Because toxic people, they will look for a reason. They will look for anything to start a fight. So sometimes you have to be the one to just not give it to them. Just don't engage in that. Also, sometimes if you can just try and flip it, call them and just start the conversation out. Tell them about something somebody did for you that was nice. Oh, hey, somebody did this super nice thing for me. Or I saw this video today where this person adopted this dog and saved their life. Bring something positive into the conversation to try and flip their mental energy into a positive thing, because these toxic people, sometimes they're just stuck in the negative. But positivity is contagious, just like negativity. So try and flip it. Try and have something on your head before you go into that conversation, before you walk into that room. Think of something positive that you're going to talk about, even if it's completely random, just to put that positivity out there and start up that conversation that way. Also, before you get into a fight with somebody, because sometimes people just say things and they do things that hurt you, they do things that are mean, they say things that are mean, but take 10 seconds to just take a breath and think about it. Is this going to matter 5 years from now? Somebody said, oh, I hate that shirt that you're wearing. Is this going to matter to me 5 years from now? No. Somebody says, oh, you look like you've gained a lot of weight. Is that going to upset me? Yeah. Is that conversation going to matter? Is that going to impact my life 5 years from now? No. So choose your battles. Just think about it. Just take 10 seconds and ask yourself, is this worth fighting over? Is this going to matter to me 5 years from now? And if not, move on. And I would say use that not just with toxic people, but with anybody. I mean, if you are getting into a fight, if you live with somebody, if you're in a marriage or a relationship or you have a roommate, you can get into quarrels with those people all the time, right? Because you're always around them. Choose your battles. Is this going to matter 5 years from now? And if not, don't fight over it. Don't give in to that. You need to start recognizing some of these toxic people in your life as well, and make sure that you are aware of who is going to be toxic, how people impact your feelings. Before you have an interaction with somebody, if you know this person, think about it. How does this person usually make me feel when I walk away from an interaction with them? Is it negative? Okay, then be ready. Be ready for that. Have that positive thought story in your head. Be ready to take that breath. Hi, Jen. Be ready to take that breath and think, is this going to matter 5 minutes from now? Before you even start that, start evaluating your relationships and how those people make you feel before you even interact with them. And don't get yourself all worried and upset before you walked into it, because that's not helpful either, right? But just be ready, be prepared. Another thing, if people show you who they are, believe them. A lot of times, people show you who they are pretty quickly. Believe them. And probably I have 2 more big things. And this is a big one. This is actually, I think, going to be really helpful for you. So where's my piece of paper? I don't know. Okay. When it comes to evaluating the people in your life, the people that you interact with daily, weekly, whatever, I want you to think about those people, okay? And I want you to think, does their opinion matter to me? Realistically, do they have, if somebody gives you an opinion about the way that you dress, do you like the way that they dress? Does their opinion actually matter to you? Because if not, then who cares? If somebody gives you an opinion about your job, the way you parent your children, look at the way that they parent their children. Look at the job that they have. Is that somebody's opinion that you value? Because if not, then why does it matter to you what they think and what they say? And I want you to get out a piece of paper, no bigger than this, preferably smaller, but no bigger than this, and write down the people whose opinion actually matter to you. And I'm telling you, this list should be small. The people whose opinion actually matter to you, write this on a piece of paper. Keep it in your purse, keep it on your mirror, keep it somewhere where you can see, and when somebody says something that upsets you, are they on my list? Is this somebody whose opinion matters to me? Because if not, let it go. Just let it go. Because everybody is going to have an opinion about something, but there's probably not very many people who actually have what you want, right? Yeah, God, Jesus, your husband, your daughter. Perfect. Because if you care what everybody thinks, then you're always going to be upset. Everybody has an opinion about something. I care about what my boyfriend thinks because I think he's a great person and I think he's done a lot with his life. And if he gives me advice, there's a lot of topics that I would take his opinion on, and I love him, right? But if he's toxic and he hurts me all the time, then I shouldn't care what he has to say. I have friends who I love so much. I love them so much. But I'm not going to take financial advice from them if they don't have financial success. I'm not going to take fashion advice from them if I don't think that they have great fashion. Like, I don't care what their opinions are on those things. If they can't do the things that I want to do with my life, then why do I care what they have to say about what I'm doing? So they shouldn't be on my list. That doesn't mean I don't love them. That doesn't mean that I don't care about them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, does their opinion on my life actually matter? Because if not, then you need to just let it go. So I suggest getting a small piece of paper, writing it down, and have it ready, because there will be people, especially for those of you who are trying to change your life, who are trying to do something different, who are trying to better yourself, there are going to be people who have negative things to say about you and people who are trying to bring you down. Why? I don't know. That's just what people do. But if they're not on your list, just let it go. The other thing is, have a support system. Have a support system of people, maybe the people on your list, whose opinions matter. And when you're upset about something, those are the people that you go to. And don't go to them to just vent and vent and vent and vent and vent, right? Because that's not helpful for you. That's not helpful for them. But you can check in and say, hey, I'm having this conflict with this person. This happened, whatever. And they can set you straight. If there's somebody whose opinion matters, then they can be honest with you and say, hey, you did something wrong here. This is what you should do to fix it. Or no, you didn't do anything wrong. That person is crazy. That person is toxic. Let it go. Conversation done. It doesn't need to be a big long vent session. It needs to be people who genuinely support you, love you, and whose opinions matter, and who are going to give you positive, encouraging, accurate feedback. And that is your support system. And if you don't have a support system like that, get one. Get one. It's honestly, I know that some people don't have a lot of positive influences in their life, but I'm telling you, it's not hard to find them. It's really not. Join a Facebook group and find people there. Join a network marketing company. And I'm not saying that to sell you on anything. I promise you I'm not. But that is where I have found some of the most positive, influential people who support me and who can be honest with me and who are going places that I want to go. And I have found some of my tribe in there. Find them. Find that support system. Stop taking the opinions of the cockroaches in your life and letting them ruin your beautiful bowl of fruit. Okay? All right. With that, I love you all. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for loving me. I love you. You're amazing. If you got value out of this, please share it, because I know that there is somebody out there who needs to hear this. I needed to hear this. Have an amazing day. I will see you next time.